Thank you very much, Stuart. Who wants to crash the happy hour feeds with me? Anyone? So yeah, just to am I doing all right here? Just to thank again the folks at NYU Stern and Ben Hurst and Stuart for putting this together. Stuart first suggested the idea for this panel to me, I guess it was about five months ago, something like that, an IGDA event that we were holding, and he has really been responsible for pushing it through, and so I appreciate that. Thank you, Stuart. I also want to thank Heavy Melody, the boys from Heavy Melody who are in the back videotaping, and they videotape all the IGDA events, and have started a YouTube channel in which you can watch past and future IGDA events. So thank you to Heavy Melody. And thanks to all you for coming as well. I'm personally, I've been involved with the New York chapter in a serious way for about 6 months now, and the point of the chapter, IGDA is an organization for game developers. It's the International Game Developers Association. So the point of the organization is really to build community among game developers and to advocate for game developers in the various places they need advocating for. And so for the chapter, I think the main purpose of the IGDA is to grow the game industry in New York and grow the game developer community in New York. And so I think that partnerships like this one with NYU Stern and reaching out to other constituencies within the city that are interested in games are critical to that growth. So I hope to see more of this happening in the future. We have a great group of panelists tonight. Each of them has a unique perspective on the game industry. The bio, their kind of extended bios are in the handout you received, but I just want to kick things off by helping the panelists get to know the audience a little bit. So just wanted to get a show of hands for people who are already working in the game industry. Okay. And then can I get a show of hands for people who are interested in working in the game industry? Okay, that's pretty much what I thought. Otherwise, why would you be here? MBA students? Okay. Members of the press? Yeah, I thought Jared would. Angel investors or high net worth individuals? Anyone? Okay. All right. Well, I can leave now. So hopefully that'll help frame the discussion. You see, we have a pretty good mix of MBA students and existing industry professionals. What I was thinking we could do to kick it off is just do a real quick, each of you do a real quick introduction, and I guess focus on maybe the business model that you are currently working within. So your organization's business model, and just kind of your recent background within the game industry. Esteban, you want to kick it off?
Absolutely. Hello everyone, my name is Esteban Sosnik. I founded 4.5 years ago a development studio called Guanaco Games. Guanaco is a studio that basically pioneered the game development industry in Latin America. We were headquartered in New York, but our studio was based in Santiago, Chile. We basically did work for hire work for mostly US publishers to distribute our games in the US and internationally, mostly online games. And this past December, we sold the company to Vivendi Games. So mostly today I'm going to be talking as a developer, which is what I've been doing in the last 4.5, 5 years, even though my role now it's more on the publisher side, which is right now happening and right now sort of transitioning into. So I guess the story of Guanaco, our business model is relatively simple. We concentrated on Guanaco was founded by a bunch of guys who had never developed games professionally. So in looking at what was our competitive advantage and how we wanted to position ourselves in the market, we realized that we wanted to create definitely a valuable company and a company in a market with high barriers of entry. So what we did, we concentrated basically on the production value of the games we produce. We wanted to create really high quality content. And that's always been sort of a driving force for us, a driving force. And the way we did it is we started doing work for hire developments in which publishers came to us and requested development work. We've done that. We developed around 12 games. We published around 12 games on that model, with a vision that eventually we were going to be able to do our own games once we had the track record, the experience, the methodology, and really give enough time to the team to develop, really come with a sort of creative breakthrough and develop sort of an own idea that was worth, that could contribute actually something to the game world and to the gameverse. And that actually, you know, it eventually happened. I mean, we started, our first development was in mid-2003, and finally in 2006 we were able to create our own game, which is called Assault Heroes. It was published in December for Xbox Live Arcade, and it became IGN Game of the Year 2006. And sort of as a result of that, or in combination with that, we ended up selling the company to Vivendi. So I guess that's sort of our business model.
Hi, I'm Keith Halper. Excuse me, I have a bit of a cold. I made my first video game in 1985. I got paid for my first video game about 8 years later. So I've been doing these for a little while. I actually have worked on the development side and on the publisher side. About 4 years ago, we started up this company called Kuma Games that was built to take advantage of convergence technologies, just that TVs have started to look like PCs and everything's connected to broadband, and sort of what would you create out of that that doesn't look like every other game that has come in the past. What could you do different creatively? What could you do different from a business standpoint? And where we ended up landing was creating something that's an analog for television. We create games that come in episodes. They come in series. Right now we have 3 series published. We have 100 and maybe 105, 110 episodes that have been done in all those games. They're all free. They come out on a weekly basis. This should sound familiar. It sounds like TV. And we sell advertising in it. And so that, in short, is our business model. We are television for the gaming business.
Hi, I'm Robert Stevenson, and I'm with Atari. I've got a similar story to the rest of my colleagues here. I started on the development side for a number of years. I worked as a developer a variety of different projects, some big, some small, and console games and entertainment games. And then gradually I've kind of worked over to the publishing side. At Atari, we have a number of different business models. As you might know, we're a fairly large publisher. The business models really kind of fall in 4 kind of categories: distribution models, which are largely products where we take a hands-off kind of approach. It's kind of an arm's length relationship. The other party that we may be working with is owning inventory. They own all the assets, and we're primarily a sales organization for them. We have a publishing model, which is probably one that we're kind of most known for, and that's where we get involved with developers kind of midstream, and they may have maybe relatively early. They may have some proof of concept, some gameplay that they put together. They may have some funding, and then the specifics of each type of arrangement are going to vary quite wildly. But we have the publishing kind of group that does that, and then last but not least, we have kind of full development, which is more an internal model where we have development studios. Sometimes they're external, but development studios internally that we fund and we market and sell and build IP in that method. And then the fourth kind of model that it's kind of I would call it more emergent, and that's dealing with a lot of these. A lot of the new things that you kind of hear coming up, Xbox Live Arcade, episodic content, casual game content, and we have a group that deals with that. And the business models in those cases are really leveraging a lot of different, different websites, different places to aggregate kind of the content out there, and then kind of rolling all that back up. And how can you do that effectively and efficiently without eroding your margin? So really, those kind of four models. We work on them, globally, and that's basically it.